and Plumbing, Cox Business, Crest Insurance Group, Recon Auto Detail, First Chiropractic, PGA Tour Superstores, and by Meridian Wealth Management. Wealth well managed, life well lived.
Post-game show begins right now. Arizona, Washington combined 526 yards for the Cats, 595 yards for Washington. We talked about it, fellas, that we are expecting a track meet. That's certainly what we had. Washington will win today 49-39 over the Arizona Wildcats. The Meridian Wealth Management postgame show begins right now. Thanks for joining us, everybody. My name is Rich Herrera, along with the captain, Kelvin Efon, and Glenn Howe. We've got a lot to unpack, guys, on this game, and we're going to get your thoughts and take telephone calls and text messages. If you want to call in, 520-848-1290, 520-848-1290. It might be easier to get through on the text line today. Text the word RICH. Text the word RICH to 520-848-1290. Text the word RICH to 520-848-1290. Well, today the Arizona Wildcats gave up 516 yards in the air against Washington. And Michael Penix Jr. goes 36 for 44, 516 yards and 4 touchdowns against the Arizona Wildcats. I'll let you guys start with your instant reaction and analysis. Glenn, we'll start with you.
It just looked like a 7-on-7. That's what it did, because there was no pass rush. I mean, it was 1 alligator, 2 alligator, 3 alligator, 4, and then that's what it was tonight, man. I mean, we can't let one of my keys was get him off his spot. They should have charged him rent for a spot. It was not good tonight.
Yeah, I mean, you said 7-on-7. I said arena football.
Yeah, exactly.
Arena football. Whoever had the ball last probably was going to win the game, man. It was. And
there's games that are going to be like that.
It happens, and you got to figure out a way, to get the dub. When you play those games, but just still, when you're watching college football and things have changed, but it's tough to watch sometimes. You want to see some stops.
Yeah,
you want to see some stops.
You want to see some stops, and for Arizona, as it turns out to be, this track meet that we knew was coming, we hope wasn't. You're just looking for a couple stops down the way, and Arizona just wasn't able to stop them.
Yeah, and usually when you go into the first half, there's a different second half. There was nothing different from the second half from the first half for us on defense. Just wasn't anything different.
And we looking here, they did, get a couple stops early.
Right. Mm-hmm. So they start taking the first drive. They score a touchdown. They go 46 yards. Second one, they come up short, and they turn over the ball on downs. Then Washington gets the ball back, scores another touchdown. They lose it on downs. They have to punt. They only punted once in this ball game. But then once you get into that second quarter, touchdown, as you get to the third quarter, and turns out to be the backbreakers. Touchdown, field goal attempt, touchdown, ball game over, 49 points for the Dogs today.
Yeah, I mean, they just couldn't keep him out the end zone. I mean, the guy was going up and down the field at will. I know that they're trying to figure it out, but that personnel, we're going to have to get some guys in there that could, have that nasty attitude and disposition about themselves that they're not going to let people do this.
Yeah, and I kind of feel bad for the DBs because they were guarding guys for a long period of time, man.
Yeah, you can't guard that long.
You can't guard them that long. You really
without
just
holding
can't.
them. You don't think else you can do is hold them.
And that's kind of tough for them, man. We got to be able to find a way to get to the quarterback. That's the thing.
And I will say, I saw him try to blitz a few times. It didn't work. It didn't work.
And I saw some stunts and some twists. Credit Washington, but again, you got to go back to the drawing board if you're Arizona. Last week, Bo Nix stood there and ate a sandwich while he was waiting to throw the football, and Michael Penix Jr., same thing.
Yeah, it's tough, man. Quarterbacks been having and running backs too. Having their careers on us.
And if you look at that offensive line that they had, what they did is that it was kind of like a textbook clinic out there because we were twisting a lot.
Right.
We were
And they
doing
just
a lot of
passing people
stunts
off.
and just passing
They
them
just
here.
passing guys
Here you
off.
go.
It was-
Here you go.
yeah.
Here, I'll just pass them to you.
Explain
And
that.
then it's-
Explain that to the.
They were
fans.
staying square shoulders across the line of scrimmage. One guy tries to twist, and they would actually you could see them actually making communication that they twist, and they were just passing them off, and they were waiting squared shoulders to the line of scrimmage, so they had no gaps in there, and picking up the next guy coming,
And
waiting for him.
And I don't want to talk about basketball season too quick, but it's like in basketball where you're basically switching the man.
Right.
You
Yep,
just switch.
yep.
Like if my guy and your guy basically try to set a screen,
Yep.
or you
High
just say
screen,
switch.
yeah, switch, yep.
You just switch guys basically, and they were just doing it. Usually guys follow their guy.
Yeah.
And they bump into each other, and then the other guy, one of the defensive players, come free and run right into your quarterback. Happened to us a couple
Yeah,
times.
yep.
And I thought
As I'm
Delora-
moving laterally, I'm going to get too far. I'm going to
Yeah.
bump into Glenn, and all of a sudden, he and I are standing there. There's a big gap. Boom! The guy will circle back around and get after my quarterback.
Exactly, and I worry about that a little bit with Delora. He's not a big guy, and you don't want to be taking a lot of hits, because you start taking a lot of hits, you're already doing a lot of passes, which puts you in a situation to where you can get hit, standing back in their pocket. But you got to be careful, man. When you're throwing it 34, 40 times a game, you're putting yourself in harm's way for sure.
And kudos to Jaden. He didn't throw a pick tonight.
No.
He didn't throw one pick tonight. He
was going to. He had that fire going in his belly for this.
Yeah,
For Washington.
I think he really played a smart game today. Threw some great balls.
Yeah.
And
Ran
the
the ball,
receivers
ran the ball
ran
pretty
the
good.
ball
He ran the
very
ball real
intelligently.
good, yeah.
And also it's these wide receivers, man. I mean, these guys are catching the ball. I mean, they're really going up and making a great efforts on all these balls. And Singer's catch, that was a catch, man.
Yeah, man.
That was a catch.
And that's why I'm glad that they went back and looked at McMillan's touchdown, because I think they thought about it and they had to give him his, because two of those would have been devastating.
Right. So T-Mac ends up with 132 yards and 2 touchdowns in the ball game. Jacob Cowling, 7 catches for 94 yards. Dorian Singer, 6 catches, 99 yards, including a touchdown. Tanner McLaughlin, the tight end, 4 catches, 67 yards, in a touchdown. DJ Williams, 1 out of the backfield for 8 yards.
Yeah, and I'm going to tell you something. I ain't one to just, crown the freshman. You got to show me something.
Right.
But I'm going to tell you, that Tiator,
The
McMillan.
T-Mac, yeah.
T-Mac, man, he's serious.
He's going to be a problem.
The way he ran up out of that tackle.
Right.
He jumped up like a reindeer. When he, high stepped up out of that thing.
That's a great way to put it.
Yeah, like a reindeer, and got into that end zone. And then the way he's catching the ball with his hands away from his body, jumping up over guys. I'm like, oh, he's 5-star. This is what he looked like, a different type of guy. We haven't had that many of those type of receivers. I have to give credit where it's due.
Yeah, and he is like, he kind of reminds me of Jeremy McDaniels.
A lot of Jeremy. A lot.
But
Maybe
Jeremy was a little stronger.
Right.
More speed.
Yeah, a little older.
And T-Mac, I think he'll get there. He'll get there.
Can you imagine
but
him
he's
3
going to be
years?
a problem.
Yeah.
Can you imagine him in 3 years?
Oh, yeah.
Can he leave? I mean, because I'm just thinking, in 3 years?
Yeah, 3
That'd
years.
be crazy.
He's going to be a problem.
I'm talking about junior year. I'm not even talking about senior.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, well, help me out a little bit, because, again, I saw him in high school. I think a lot of people saw him on television in high school. How much have you seen him grow, mature from the first couple games where he saw him? We're like, okay, I'm not sure. And we saw him in practice. We're like, okay, well, what am I getting him here to what you saw today?
He actually blocked better today, too. Mm-hmm. He did some blocking today, which I think that's part of his reward for getting the ball. I think if you work hard on that part of your game as a wide receiver, good things will come for you.
Yeah, and that's something that I had mentioned. I said I want to see those guys blocking a little bit more, because it opens up your pass, because now the DB don't know which one it is.
Exactly.
Is he coming at me to block me, or is he going into a route? And it's just some of what you want to be doing. But again, this receiving core, starting with Cowing, Singer, McMillan, I can understand why Coach want to pass it a lot. I think that's already his disposition. I think that's what he want to do anyway.
With his background from the National Football League.
Yes. You watch NFL, this is totally what they're doing. And man, but these guys are perfect for what he's doing. It just sometimes is it physical. Yeah. That is my how is that wearing on the defense? And that's a part of the psychological game that you have to play within the game.
Being physical and showing that your might, and your physicality on the defense.
And I got to pause for 10-second ID real quick, and then we'll get back to this. Let's pause 10 seconds for station identification. This is the Bernie Wealth Management postgame show.
KCUB Tucson, a Cumulus media station. This season, Jed Fish will lead the Wildcats into battle, and the only place to hear the game, Wildcats Radio 1290.
All right, we'll roll on here on Wildcats Radio 1290. You talk about setting that physical message. What game do we watch, fellas, over at Soul Sports when we were just getting off the air? Alabama, Tennessee started, and you talked about it. What happened? Tennessee went in there and they said, "I'm going to smash the ball at Alabama," and Alabama knew they were in a fight.
Yes, you said that word. They knew they was in a fight, and you have to let people know they're in a fight. Yep. If they just think they're in a game. A game is a game.
Yeah.
And we're going to play the game. No, you have to take it to another level. You have to show them that, Tennessee guys, I saw a guy, he threw up, and he looked over there. It was a big offensive lineman. They showed it on one of the videos. He threw up and looked over at Alabama players and said, "Let's go."
Yeah.
I mean, you just on another level. I've been in those big games, and it's just an out-of-body experience that you have to make this other guy understand that, it's a game to you. As Coach Tomey used to say, I gotta have it.
Yeah,
it's life over here.
Man.
Yeah,
it's life for those Tennessee kids because they were playing 15 years since they had beaten Alabama over there. So they were like, this is our best shot. And I tell you what, Alabama threw haymakers coming back at them all afternoon long. But in the end, it was that team that wanted it a little bit more that threw that knockout punch and said, "Go ahead, bring it. I'm gonna hit me as hard as you can. I'm gonna get back up."
And it ain't nothing like winning those type of games because, again, when you blow somebody out, you don't really know about yourself.
Yeah.
You don't really get to find out about your teammate. But when you're in a real dog fight and you fighting down to the end, I think these guys, the Arizona players, are finding out a little bit about themselves.
Yeah, they're finding out. I was just going to say
they're finding out a little. Yeah.
This is they can learn from this game.
Yeah.
They can learn a lot from this game. That they were down 18.
Yeah.
And they came back and got in within 3.
Yeah, it was a one score game,
and they know they can fight with the best. That's the thing.
I give a lot of that credit to Delora.
Yeah,
I do. That kid is not going to give in. Yeah. He's not going to give in, and he's trying to take care of that ball all while getting it to all his different receivers.
Yeah, we're going to talk more about that. I got text messages starting to come in. If you want to text us, go ahead, 520-848-1290. Text the word RICH, R-A-C-H, to 520-848-1290. We'll walk through and talk about today's best bet. We'll have the highlights for you and the keys to the game all coming up here on 1290. But again, text the word RICH, 520-848-1290. Guys, we have to talk about the beginning of the second half. Jed Fish rolls the dice, goes Riverboat Gambler a la Ron Rivera, comes up with an onside kick to start the second half of the game. It doesn't go Arizona's way. My thought on it, and I'll start with this one. You know what? You live by the sword, die by the sword. If you want to be a big-time gambler, if it works, you're a genius like Sean Payton in the Super Bowl. You lose on that gamble. You're down 2 possessions, and you're chasing that for the rest of the ball game. Guys?
Yeah, after I threw up in the toilet, I didn't look. I wasn't able to look over at the other team because that made me sick, man. I'm like, okay, if we do that and we don't get it, that was just that. I just did not like that play.
Yeah, I didn't like it either. It kind of reminded me of taking the ball last week.
Yeah,
you
exactly.
We took the ball
exactly. No confidence.
Right, and it makes the other team thinks like, again, if we get this, if we get this, we're right here. We got 40 yards to score a touchdown, so we can get rid of these guys right now. But as the offensive team, as the team that is doing the kicking, it makes you feel like that we're being desperate.
Yes.
Like we're a little desperate right here. Yeah. Like, like we got a whole half to play.
Yeah.
Like why would we, go for it just right here?
Yeah, that's exactly what I said. I said we just starting the half, we get a stop.
Now remember,
and then we turn it over. They scored
last.
Yeah.
Right? They scored last. Arizona had gone down. Everything's looking great. they score at that very, very final moment going in, knowing that they're getting the ball coming back out.
Exactly.
So you have a whole half to think about that.
Yeah,
Right.
And that's why I say that you go and you kick it off, and then you get a stop, and then you're back in the ball game.
And I do understand what he's trying to do if you get it, but the chances of getting it is not
Slim
that
to none.
high.
Right.
It's not that high. And then there is that little slight thing that your team feel like, hey, we're going for the win, but it's hard to feel like we're going for the win when you don't get it.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
now they're this close to a score to touchdown.
Yeah.
Are you guys? Would you guys ever play poker?
Not much.
Not much.
Okay, I don't either. But the times I've played poker,
Played blackjack.
I love playing blackjack.
I hit on 17.
Yeah, exactly. You know what? Hey, listen.
That's hitting on 17.
You can hit
That's
on
it.
17, especially if
that
you're
was.
playing third base.
Yeah.
And sometimes it's going to win, and sometimes everybody else at the table is going to get mad at you when you take the bus card.
Yeah.
But I would just think of the poker analogy. Rounders, I'm going all in, and you got to sit there and live with that moment. And if you go all in and you win, everybody's eating steak tonight.
But that's too early, though.
Yeah,
It's too
exactly.
early,
It
though.
was-
You
it
got to
was
let it
too
play
early.
out.
Yeah.
I mean, there's times that you do it when you get to that, the last 5 minutes and you're down, you do whatever you have to do.
And again,
But-
that's why Sean Payton is thought of as a genius, because he did that in the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Big gutsy move. It worked out for him.
Yeah, just got
We
lucky.
don't. We're not
Got
going.
lucky.
Well,
Yeah.
we're
Yeah,
not
there
going to
would
talk
be
about
another history if
What,
this.
yeah. What would history say if he didn't get it? All right, J.W. Madden, who's been here all day long, our producer, he and Nate Dogg Rady took care of our pregame shows. Sir.
Fellas, you've been talking about football this first segment. The big question coming into this game was how many fans are to be there because it was the first playoff game in 20 years.
Yeah.
Well, I think the fans that went to the football game made the right choice because we're looking at going into the top of the 18th 0-0 right now.
That's why I have this up instead of USC.
Top of the
and
18th
Utah.
0-0. So it was 39-49. I think the guys at Husky
gosh.
Stadium saw a little
So
more action.
apparently there's only so much offense you can have in the city of Seattle between the ballparks, and Washington and Arizona used all the offense because there's no offense going on with Seattle and Houston right now.
So let me ask you a question because I'm not a real baseball guy, right? When do you leave as a fan? When is it okay?
Yeah, exactly.
J-Dub,
The
when you
longest,
get-
yeah.
when-
I mean,
when do you get to
Well,
leave?
this is
You're
an elimination game, right, Rich?
Yeah,
like
this is
if Seattle
playoff.
this is
loses,
it.
they go
this
home.
is it.
Oh,
Yeah,
so they're not going home.
Okay. Now
You know what it is, Kelvin? How much money did you spend on the ticket? If I spent $5 and I'm sitting in the bleachers, I spent $300 for a playoff ticket. I'm going to stay till that sucker's over.
You know what they've seen is 0 runs and 41 strikeouts.
Yeah.
Wow.
Oh, it's ugly.
Wow.
So I actually,
Good
I think
pitching.
I broadcast. I think it went 20 innings. And we got done at like 2:30 in the morning. And I just took everybody who was standing around like, guys, we're all going to Waffle House. Yeah. We all went to Waffle House and invaded Waffle House.
That's 2 games.
Yeah,
Should've
exactly.
got
But
paid double.
where Glenn and I grew up in Northern California, if you went to a Giants extra inning game, do you remember this?
Yeah.
You went to a Giants extra inning game and you stayed. They gave you a little pin, a little badge saying, "I came,
same.
I saw, I stay, I froze."
Yep. Because that hawk be coming off that bay, man.
Yeah, I froze.
It'd be
cold.
cold.
That's why you
The
froze.
coldest winter. I mean, the coldest winter you ever spent is the summer in San Francisco.
Yep. Mark Twain said that.
Yep.
Telephone calls and text messages. I want to get a lot of text messages. I got a couple good ones I'm going to read here in a second. 520-848-1290, 520-848-1290.
How do they do that?
You text the word Rich.
Okay.
So go on your phone and
Yeah.
you put in 520-848-1290, and then in the body of the message, just type in the word Rich and then your message, and it comes right here to my phone.
Oh, really?
This is a big time technology we
This
have
is
here
like-
at 1290.
Man.
Yeah, we worked hard on this.
We're
It
at
cost us,
Microsoft.
it cost us millions and millions of dollars and years of research, but you can text Rich to
Bill Gates.
520-848-1290. Yeah, absolutely. 520-848-1290. Text the word Rich. And I got a couple people asking about the defense. And I'm going to ask you fans, thumbs up, thumbs down on the call to start the second half of the ball game with the big risk onside kick. Didn't work out. If it works out, completely different ball game. You get that possession back. It doesn't work out. Like I said, you're chasing that for the rest of the game.
Yeah, and also Washington, give them credit. Everybody, even that's what my thing was I said that my key was that they're going to try to run it down our throats. They only had 90-something yards
Yeah,
on
they
the ground.
went with their strength.
They went with their strength. They went and started passing the ball, and I was totally wrong on that. I thought they were going to try to run it and then just run it and then pass it at will.
But I will say this. I feel like their running game was the difference in the game.
Yes.
They used it just when they needed it.
Their running game, they had 3 touchdowns rushing.
Yeah. Cameron Davis had 2. He had 8 carries for 41 yards. And they picked up Michael Penix Jr. had 3 carries, 13 yards, and the 1 touchdown. Turned out to be the big difference in the ball game. Again, 520-848-1290, 520-848-1290. Text the word RICH to 520-848-1290. We'll get to the highlights coming up. I do want to talk about Jaden Delora's performance. We'll do that next. Washington wins 49-39 over the Cats. More coming up on the Meridian Wealth Management postgame show. This is Wildcats Radio 1290.
This is the Rich Herrera Radio Show. Now streaming on Facebook Live and YouTube at Wildcats 1290 and our website, wildcatsradio1290.com.
Terry crosses middle, hand it to Matherin between the rings. Over for Creasa. Checked by Campbell. High screen from Koloko. Creasa around it, drives right. Throw it for Koloko, who slams it down for 2. Lamb set. And the pitch to Susak, driven out towards right field. That is going to get down for a base hit and go all the way to the wall. Casagrande headed for third. They're going to wave him around. He's coming home, and the Wildcats have tied it up. Susak with an RBI double to right center. And we're still playing ball. Tied at 16 in the bottom of the 10th. Shot blocked by Koloko, who grabs it out of the air. Ahead to Dalen Terry, Arizona with the ball, minute 30 to go, and a 6-point lead. Juzang working right, drives to the bucket, put up, blocked by Koloko, grabbed by Larson. Arizona ball, 38 seconds left. For Bernard, goes right, blocked by Ballo, grabbed by Matherin. Arizona ball, 22 seconds left. Campbell down for the Bruins, throw it out to Riley. He'll shoot the 3, blocked again by Koloko. Ballo grabs it, it's over. Championship to Tucson.
Hey, sports fans, it's Rich Herrera. Thank you so much for tuning into our stream. We'll be back in just a bit. Until then, how about some Arizona Wildcat highlights?
4th down and less than a yard. Trojans will go for it in a tie game. Slovis out of the shotgun. Step to his left. Step to hand off. Into the backfield and drop. No gain, loss on the play. Cats take over.
That's a huge play by Arizona. Explosive play in the backfield that time.
Shot blocked by Koloko, who grabs it out of the air. Ahead to Dalen Terry, Arizona with the ball, minute 30 to go, and a 6-point lead. Juzang working right, drives to the bucket, put up, blocked by Koloko, grabbed by Larson. Arizona ball, 38 seconds left. For Bernard, goes right, blocked by Ballo, grabbed by Matherin. Arizona ball, 22 seconds left. Campbell down for the Bruins, throw it out to Riley. He'll shoot the 3, blocked again by Koloko. Ballo grabs it, it's over. Championship to Tucson. Dalen Terry quickly the other way, out to Tabellas, down the lane to throw it down with the left hand. Look out. The locomotive slams it home.
Hey, sports fans, it's Rich Herrera. Show will be back in just a little bit. Thanks for tuning into our stream. Until then, how about some great moments for the University of Arizona Wildcats?
4th down and 2, Arizona. Down 14-0. Wildcats on 4th down this year are 12 of 20. Offset backfield. Plummer to throw the ball, looking, throwing towards the back of the end zone, and it's hot! Touchdown, Arizona! Oh, did they need that? My goodness, Booby Curry had to leap in the air to take the ball over the top of the defender, and the Cats are on the board. ASU with the ball, down by 11, 3 have to go, steal by Koloko. He's going to drive the other way and slam it home, and foul by Lawrence.
Why Lawrence contested the big man, Christian Koloko, with defensive steal and flush.
Lawrence picks up his 3rd foul. Big guys love to play point guard. Koloko looked like one driving down that was from mid-court. 3-point lead again for TCU. Down to 30 seconds left. Matherin with the ball for the Wildcats. Matherin around a Koloko screen, picked up by Lampkin. Go outside for Koloko. Feed it to Terry, right corner. Terry can't go baseline. Circles back out top to Matherin. 10 to shoot. 16 left in the ball game. Matherin, 3 balls straight away. Good.
That's
We're
a
tied.
huge shot for Ben Matherin in Arizona. Timeout TCU. This ball game is knotted up.
12.6 seconds to go. Ben Matherin drains a deep 3 from straight away. He's got 24 points, and we're all even.
Hey, sports fans, this is Rich Herrera. Thanks so much for tuning into our stream. Back in just a bit. Until then, how about some highlights from the University of Arizona?
McLeod's going to line up under center. Wiley, the running back. Receiver either side. 2 tight ends.
This is the home of the Arizona Wildcats. Wildcats Radio 1290.
We continue with you. Washington wins 49-39 tonight over the Arizona Wildcats. Long ball game. You throw the ball, put the ball up, and have, I'm going to make sure I got this right, 916 yards, guys, in the air. Over 1,000 yards given up on both sides.
Yeah.
It's
Exactly.
exactly
Sound like going to the WAC game.
Yeah. I mean, listen, Kalen DeBoer came from the Mountain West and Fresno State. It's one of those Fresno State, Utah State games where you put up over 1,000 yards, over 1,100 yards of total offense, right? That's what it was right there. Let's see. Let's get to Arizona's best bet and talk about tonight's spread. So use cash and tickets, shall we?
How did the 1290 crew do today with their best bets? Let's find out how they did in today's pregame show. Today's best bets are brought to you by Desert Diamond Sportsbook, Arizona's best bet.
All right, spread today was 14.5. That little hook. Now, before the ball game, we guys talked about it. I've taken the rat poison. I'm selling the rat poison to everybody, saying, yeah, absolutely, I'm going to take the Cats. I felt pretty good with about 2 minutes left in the first half, and then all of a sudden, I got a queasy feeling. It turns out to be 10 points, but fellas, could have easily gone the other way. So I took the Cats, 14.5. I'm going to cash a ticket. You guys didn't. But it was...
No, I took them 14. No, I didn't think we didn't think that they were going to be able to, get within.
You said
14.
Within the 14. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Okay.
No,
that's right.
Yeah, I didn't think so. And I'll say this: the score. It seemed like Washington should have more than 49.
Yeah,
it seemed like they should have had more than 49.
They only punted once.
Yeah, it seemed like they dialed it back a little bit as well. Just trying to get out of there, because I think they started to worry about Arizona getting going.
Right.
Yeah.
And getting the momentum.
Listen, Arizona's offense, pretty good. Just got to get a stop. Got to get a stop. I said this on Pac-12 radio, because I know you guys went on this week as well. I said Arizona. They said, "How's Arizona going to win?" I said, "Need one stop."
Yeah.
Turns out to be the ball game. Need one stop, and I said they got to win the third quarter. Yeah. They didn't win the third quarter, and they didn't get that stop. So I will cash a ticket tonight by the skin of my teeth. It's 10 points, and it was 14.5. So I'll take the ticket that I'll cash tonight, thanks to our friends at Desert Diamond Casino. Okay. Phone calls and text messages. I want to get to those. Here, I got one for you. You ready? This is from Doug. Rich, how would I describe this year's team? You guys ready for this? Entertaining but aggravating. It's like going to a theme park with a really crabby person. The rides are super fun, but at the end, you don't leave fully happy. Our offense is a blast to watch, but seeing some teams run the ball straight through us like a paper wall, and other teams with receivers open by 10 yards anytime they want is extremely frustrating. Are the defensive problems more about scheme or personnel? From Doug.
I think.
I always say a little bit of both.
I think it's both too. Scheme, personnel, and just will.
And I'm gonna say this here too.
The will to say no.
And the will to say no. And also, when you've been losing, the toughest thing to do is to beat the other team, because they believe you're losers.
Yeah.
So you end up a lot of times tripping over your own feet. Yeah. And so that's the biggest thing. You have to get over yourself. I mean, you go back and think about, you look at our team, there was plenty of opportunities in this game to win this game over the last couple of years. Even back when Sumner was here, there was opportunities to win.
I was going to say, tonight was a winnable game.
Yeah. I mean, I think against the Washington game when Sumner was here, had an opportunity to win. And my
lost
point,
by 7.
Yeah, and my point is there's just things as players that you have to do to get it done at the end of the day.
Who's going to make a play?
Who's going to make a play? Because I tell this is something that I say all the time, Rich. Even if your coach is dead wrong about the play that he called, if you believe in it and you can make it work regardless, right?
Execute the play. That's what you have to do. You have to believe in the play,
man. And if you just believe and your team believe and everybody, you can make a wrong play right.
Can I go back to something we talked about in the pregame show? Mm-hmm. Our guest in the pregame show today for Captain's Corner was
Daniel Greer.
What did he talk to us about? The Buffalo Soldiers.
Yeah.
And I went actually
picking up the flag. Yes.
Yeah, I actually went and I read. I sat there, and when we got done, I went and got something to eat at the casino, and I didn't know the story. I knew the story of that, right? So it's kind of something military wise that I knew that the flag falls, somebody else has got to jump up and get it. But I had never heard the story about the Buffalo Soldiers in that manner until you told me, and it really kind of struck me. I went and read more about the Buffalo Soldiers and that, and there's some fascinating things I found at the Buffalo Soldier Museum while I was sitting there eating lunch. Man, what a rallying cry. Who's going to pick up that flag? Man. And you talked about that with Coach Tomey. We've talked about it, Larry Smith. Who's going to make a play?
Yeah.
One of the things that I look at the defense is it's tough getting gashed like that. It's tough having people run the ball down your throat and not having an answer. And the more and more I thought about it, how do you stop that? In the old days, I'd send Brandon Sanders out there and he'd knock somebody out. Mm-hmm. Somebody would make a play like that. I saw a little bit of that tonight with Jacob Manu.
Yep.
I saw Manu out there trying to impose his will.
Especially
Darnell Jr. We were talking about this during the game. You saw him trying to do that. But it is so tough that you need somebody to step up there and make that play, knock somebody out, put them on their heels, and have the team rally around. And that's the tough part with this team. I haven't seen that.
And as we was talking to Daniel Greer about that, something that he said was, it was about the next man next to you.
Yeah.
It can't be individual names.
Yeah.
As you notice, he started naming out all the Sean Polk and Eli Winnick, and you started naming all these guys, Chris McAllister, and everybody doing their job. Overdoing their job, not trying to do nobody else's job, but overdoing your job. Yeah. And that's what you have to have, Rich. I mean, even all the years of it, I go back and I think of the defensive and all the great players that came to Arizona, and they wasn't 5 stars or any of that stuff. They were guys that just left it all on the line, and it's easy to say, but that's just where it's at. You have to have 11 guys swarming that ball, coming after it.
And I liked what Daniel was naming the guys. He wasn't naming all the stars. He was naming the guys that just did their job. Yeah. That's the thing, that they just did their job. They weren't getting, all Pac-12. They weren't Pac-10. They weren't getting, all the accolades, but they were just doing. He felt them that they were doing their jobs.
You could depend on them. You knew they were going to do their job.
So that's a different thing, and
and they're trying to get there. They're trying to get there because again, we just said it earlier.
Yeah,
the defensive staff just got here. Basically.
Right.
Yeah.
And I know there was something written in the newspaper about, is it time to start changing, or are you looking at Johnny Nansen? And the quote that was in the newspaper is completely taken out of context because they were talking about Bo Nix working with Kenny Dillingham for years and having that connection. And you look at DTR and everybody with Chip Kelly and how these coaches that have been around these quarterbacks, they already know each other, where Jed is just getting to know Jaden Delora. Jaden Delora is getting to know Jed Fish. But I go back to something with this defense. I'm looking for a dog. I'm looking for somebody who's going to knock somebody out. No, I don't mean knock somebody out, but I mean make a big play, make a statement play, right? And not one of those where you tackle the quarterback and you sack him and then you run halfway up the field and celebrate. No, I'm talking about one that lifts the entire spirit of the defense. The other one is, to answer Doug's question, in my opinion, there's just not enough players. There's just not enough depth on that defense. And when you have guys that aren't performing, what do I do? Because they're there as a number one starter for a reason. And you see right now that Arizona's trying to do everything they can with Johnny Nansen. You're starting true freshmen. You have more true freshmen starting on this team. The coverage a little bare on the defensive side of the ball depth-wise as well. So I think it's a little bit of both.
Yeah, that's exactly what I said. A little bit of both, a little bit of coaching because, again, as a coach, you're trying to put in different things to try to help them out. But then you have to remember that you're dealing with young guys and you're dealing with guys that have been coached up by 3 coaches.
Yeah.
By 3 different defensive staffs. So it just gets rough. And then, you got the transfers. You got a lot of transfers that are still trying to find their way in where their spot is exactly in how they fit.
And it was difficult for those guys. As much passing as they did, it's hard to get in your stance when there's no sub coming in and you're rushing the passer, and not getting a sub because I don't think they subbed that much.
No,
I didn't see too many subs. I saw a couple guys.
Yeah, I know. I was thinking the same.
I wasn't seeing a lot of subs, so it was kind of tough for them, and that's why when our guys were getting beat. If you look at the plays, you had to wait a long time before they became open.
Yeah.
And he was waiting and waiting and waiting and then threw the ball. It wasn't like he just threw the ball, 1,001, 1,002. It was like 1,001, 2, 3, 4, and then he threw the ball.
Yeah, he was getting to his third, fifth check downs by the time.
The DBs can only do so much.
Yeah, true.
So it's difficult for them.
I got another one here. I'm going to paraphrase from this one. There's some frustration in this one. The onside kick, did it cost the Arizona Wildcats the game?
No. I don't think it cost them the game. I understand what coach is trying to do. He's trying to figure out something. If you get that,
momentum.
Yeah, that changes the momentum. But you didn't get it, so But they fought back into the game.
Yeah,
so regardless of what happened, they fought back into the game, and they showed some fight there. So that's what you have to look at. You say, okay, that could have destroyed you. You could have went down 3 touchdowns there, but the guys showed fight still. They didn't give up.
Right. Absolutely. All right, we'll take more of your telephone calls, or actually your text messages are the easiest today. 520-848-1290. We'll take time out. We'll come back. I do want to get into a little conversation with Jay and Delora. John, everybody else, hold on. I'll get right to your telephone calls. Washington wins 49-39. We'll continue with you. This is Wildcats Radio 1290.
This is the Rich Herrera Radio Show. Now streaming on Facebook Live and YouTube at Wildcats 1290 and our website, wildcatsradio1290.com.
Terry crosses middle, hand it to Matherin between the rings. Over for Creasa. Checked by Campbell. High screen from Koloko. Creasa around it, drives right. Throw it for Koloko, who slams it down for 2. Lamb set. And the pitch to Susak, driven out towards right field. That is going to get down for a base hit and go all the way to the wall. Casagrande headed for third. They're going to wave him around. He's coming home, and the Wildcats have tied it up. Susak with an RBI double to right center. And we're still playing ball. Tied at 16 in the bottom of the 10th. Shot blocked by Koloko, who grabs it out of the air. Ahead to Dalen Terry, Arizona with the ball, minute 30 to go, and a 6-point lead. Juzang working right, drives to the bucket, put up, blocked by Koloko, grabbed by Larson. Arizona ball, 38 seconds left. For Bernard, goes right, blocked by Ballo, grabbed by Matherin. Arizona ball, 22 seconds left. Campbell down for the Bruins, throw it out to Riley. He'll shoot the 3, blocked again by Koloko. Ballo grabs it, it's over. Championship to Tucson.
Hey, sports fans, it's Rich Herrera. Thank you so much for tuning into our stream. We'll be back in just a bit. Until then, how about some Arizona Wildcat highlights?
Fourth down and less than a yard. Trojans will go for it in a tie game. Slovis out of the shotgun. Step to his left. Step the handoff into the backfield and drop. No gain, loss on the play. Cats take over.
That's a huge play by Arizona. Explosive play in the backfield that time.
Shot blocked by Koloko, who grabs it out of the air. Ahead to Dalen Terry, Arizona with the ball, minute 30 to go, and a 6-point lead. Juzang working right, drives to the bucket, put up, blocked by Koloko, grabbed by Larson. Arizona ball, 38 seconds left. For Bernard, goes right, blocked by Ballo, grabbed by Matherin. Arizona ball, 22 seconds left. Campbell down for the Bruins, throw it out to Riley. He'll shoot the 3, blocked again by Koloko. Ballo grabs it, it's over. Championship to Tucson. Dalen Terry quickly the other way, out to Tabellas, down the lane to throw it down with the left hand. Look out. The locomotive slams it home.
Hey, sports fans, it's Rich Herrera. Show will be back in just a little bit. Thanks for tuning into our stream. Until then, how about some great moments from the University of Arizona Wildcats?
4th down and 2, Arizona. Down 14-0. Wildcats on 4th down this year are 12 of 20. Offset backfield. Plummer to throw the ball, looking, throwing towards the back of the end zone, and it's caught! Touchdown, Arizona! Oh, did they need that? My goodness, Booby Curry had to leap in the air to take the ball over the top of the defender, and the Cats are on the field. ASU with the ball, down by 11, so they have to go. Steal by Koloko. He's going to drive the other way and slam it home, and foul by Lawrence.
Why Lawrence contested the big man, Christian Koloko, with defensive steal and flush.
Lawrence picks up his 3rd foul. Big guys love to play point guard. Koloko looked like what, driving down that was from mid-court. 3-point lead again for TCU. Down to 30 seconds left. Matherin with the ball for the Wildcats. Matherin around a Koloko screen, picked up by Lampkin. Go outside for Koloko. Feed it to Terry, right corner. Terry can't go baseline. Circles back out top to Matherin. 10 to shoot. 16 left in the ballgame. Matherin, 3 balls straight away. Good!
That's a huge shot for Ben Matherin in Arizona. Timeout TCU. This ball game is knotted up.
12.6 seconds to go. Ben Matherin drains a deep 3 from straight away. He's got 24 points, and we're all even.
Hey, sports fans, this is Rich Herrera. Thanks so much for tuning into our stream. Back in just a bit. Until then, how about some highlights from the University of Arizona?
McLeod's going to line up under.
Wildcats Radio 1290. Brought to you by Meridian Wealth Management. Wealth well managed, life well lived. This is the home of the Arizona Wildcats. Wildcats Radio 1290.
All right, text messages, phone calls are coming fast and furious right now after Arizona loses to Washington 49-39. Cats will fall to 3-4 in the season bye week before taking on the University of Southern California coming up on the 29th. Unfortunately, USC also has a bye week. So let's grab telephone calls. Let's start with John on line 1. Bear down, John. Welcome. You're on Wildcats Radio 1290.
Hey, boys. All right. Here's the way I look at it. Last year, we were worried about whether or not Jed Fish's offense would work, whether or not he could get the players to make his play calling and his system work. And the offense has been beautiful this year. It really has. I mean, all in all, you know, Delora, thank God we have Delora back there, because if you had Gunnar Cruz back there, he'd be getting sacked left and right. But Delora's ability to move and, you know, escape the pocket and extend plays down the field, I've been nothing but happy with the offense. The ball's moved down the field all year. But football is won and lost on the line of scrimmage. And I can't tell you for how many years we have not gotten pressure on the quarterbacks. You know, Delora was running for his life today. And Penix, or whatever his name was, he stood back there with a clean pocket all day. And to me, you know, you talked about the teams of the past. They defended the run, and they got pressure on the quarterback. And that's what's been missing from our defense for a long, long time. So, you know, I'm really pretty damn optimistic when all things are considered, because I've seen progress all year. You know, I've seen progress from where we were a year ago, and it looks like they have the ability to recruit. So, you know, I got a lot of faith in the coaching staff, but this is Manson's first year play calling ever, right?
Correct.
Yes.
So I'm curious to your guys' perspective, you know, because it's funny, last year our defense kept us in games a lot, and we had a pretty poor offense. And now this year our offense has moved the ball all year, and anybody can run the ball on us. And then they've been able to see on camera where our individual players have weaknesses, because they've been able to exploit them all year. Cal threw the tight end, and there must be double moves where they're getting our DBs to bite, because, I mean, there's been wide open receivers down the field. And, that's kind of my take, man. I mean, if we can get players in here that can get pressure on the quarterback with your front four, now you're in business. And
right.
To me, that's what's missing from our team.
All right, John, Glenn, what do you say?
I think on the offensive side of the ball, that offense would not be anything close to what it is if we didn't have Jaden DeLora. He's the biggest change in that offense. I don't think it's anything different from
even though we didn't have a Cowie or a McMillan.
No, we didn't. Exactly.
We had Stanley Berryhill Jr.
Yeah.
But we had
Singer was so buried down, and everybody else.
Jaden makes that. I don't think if we had another quarterback, it wouldn't be the same.
Okay,
that's what I think. And you know, Cowie and those guys added to it. McMillan. And then using the tight end, they actually can use the tight end. I think is helping out too. And the defensive side of the ball, man, I think it's got to be it's got to be something in their soul. Like we were talking today in the pregame show, it's got to be something in their soul because they got to make a decision that they're going to beat. All we had to do is beat one guy because they were doing man on man. When they were doing those pass rush, where the guys were coming, when Penix was sitting back there, beat your guy. That's what we have to do, and we're just not doing it.
And I have another question for you guys.
Sure, go ahead, John.
Our tackling, terrible tackling, and it's been that way for a long time. You know, it's like they run in and just kind of glance the shoulder into guys instead of driving through them. Now I know that the game has changed.
Yes,
but I mean, it's frustrating to watch dudes just bounce off our guys and get another 10, 15 yards when really, and with all that said, so I'm kind of curious on how they teach tackling today compared to then, and is that correctable?
Great question.
They
Ted
don't tackle.
Well, I know
they don't tackle.
Well, Ted Robinson talked about this on the broadcast as the national Pac-12 broadcaster. He just came out and flat said it. Tackling for Arizona has been horrible. He's in 2 Arizona games in a row, so it's that obvious.
Well,
so as you go through, let's talk about the difference in tackling back in your day. I'm sorry, Kelvin. Go. I didn't mean to cut you off. Go ahead.
No, you're right. And I was just going to say, we went ones against ones where you went to
That's
the
where I
ground.
wanted to go
You
with
had
that.
to practice tackling against another high-caliber player. You can't go against the walk-ons.
Yeah.
You got to go against another guy that's a guy, right?
Yep.
And,
Why
and
do
so-
you have to go ones on ones?
Well, because you're getting a real look at another starting player.
So you bring up the level?
Yeah, it brings up the level of competition. It's more game-like, and that's what you need. The more game-like practice you have, the easier the game is for you.
And you tackled.
Yeah.
And you did live
blocking.
hits.
Live blocking. Everything was live.
They don't do that now. It's all thud. It's all thud.
It's all
like,
so it's all
like,
hit and wrap, but not take him to the ground.
Yeah, we used to go 100%, 100 miles an hour, full line. We did full line on Wednesday. That's when everybody knew that we're hitting today. Wednesday we're full line, and Tuesday we would do one-on-ones with the outside linebackers and also with the inside linebackers.
And you see what the coaches can do. You can change guys. You notice that more guys are playing on the defensive side of the ball. They started Manu at linebacker, number 14.
Darnell Jr.?
Yeah. They started, so you're looking for different guys. And I was thinking about it. How would Alabama do it? Well, Alabama just keep going down the list.
They
just keep going down the list till they find somebody.
All right,
and right now, we just, how far can we go?
The list isn't that. The list is not.
You have a freshman. You have a freshman starting lineup, true freshman out of high school starting lineup, linebacker.
Can I go to something though, John? You're still with me, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. I'm old. Okay, I'm old. So back in the day, back in my day, we used to go hit people. That's before CTEs and they're wearing those bonnets on top. So how they go about it today? Kelvin, you've got a nephew that plays high school football. They don't go ones on ones. They don't do this, do they? Do they? As much as they did back in your day when you were in high school.
No. It's a different game. I mean, it's a different world. But I will say this, man. Again, when you're looking at big time football, they find a way and their guys get it done.
100%.
So we got to find the same type of guys.
Okay, so just so you know, John. You guys have seen what they do now to practice tackling because they don't let me go hit the walk-ons and the practice squad guys. in high schools, they roll that big donut out there, right? Yeah. Which I thought was the goofiest thing when I first saw it. John, have you ever seen this before?
No.
Okay,
not really.
so explain to guys. Help me explain. There's this big padded donut. It's probably about 5 feet tall.
Yep.
You
like
guys
a
have
big
seen
tractor
it, right?
tire.
Like a big tractor tire, but it's soft.
And it's thin.
And
It's not
thin.
it's not thick. So you go in there and you're supposed to wrap your arms around it, put your head to the side. Where we used to do it, I used to lead with my crown. That's what we used to go with the head.
And they roll this big tackling donut down the field, and you have to run and hit the donut, wrap around them. That's kind of how you practice tackling these days.
Yeah, and I used to go ahead, John.
You guys were talking about competition is the best thing you can have.
Yeah.
You're talking about the ones going against the ones. When you get beat, you either get beat and lay down, or you get beat and go to work.
Right.
Because there's nothing worse than the handshake when somebody else does something better than you, to acknowledge that they did. Like, literally, if you're a competitor, there's nothing that gets at your skin deeper than having to shake somebody's hand and say, congratulations, you did this better than me today.
And I'm glad you went there, Kelvin.
Yeah, and I was going to say, even worse, a guy that you have to see every day, a guy you see every day at practice. No, if you're a fighter and you're a competitor, you're not going to let that happen. So that's why the ones versus the ones is so important, because when you're going against a walk-on, there's no way he can give you competition.
Yes, exactly.
He's just getting beat down.
Yeah.
And now you're going against
that's
the other
his job to get beat down.
Yeah. And then now you're going against the other team's ones, and guess what? They have willpower.
Yeah.
They're not going to let you do them like that. And now you have to fight that.
How about getting in the ring? How about bull in the ring, right?
Yeah.
When you do Oklahoma drills?
You can't do that no more.
But when you do Oklahoma drill, Kelvin, did you really want to let some linebacker beat you?
No way. It was me and Deshaun Polk. Coach Tomey had a thing with that. He pulled us up every time, the starting middle linebacker and the starting fullback, and made us go at it in front of everybody. You know what that tells the team?
Yeah.
That tells the team that this is what we're about.
Yeah,
this is what we're getting the top guys up. Because you could easily call up a walk-on. You could call up a freshman and have those guys go at it.
All right, on this side, Kelvin Efa, on this side, Rich Herrera. Herrera's going to get trucked, right?
No, you bring up two fighters.
Yeah.
And two guys that are not going to give in 1 inch, and that sets off the offense and the defense, and it sets the tone. We started games like that. Coach Tomey used to get us on the field on the 50-yard line on our side, and we would have circle drill. Circle drill.
That's crazy.
But,
if that happened right now, everybody be fired. Everybody be fired.
So, John, it's the personality of the team, and I think defensively, this defense needs a personality.
So my take is this, guys. Compared to where we were a year ago, compared to where we were 2 years ago, it's leaps and bounds.
Right.
The progress within the program is substantial. I mean, we sold out a game. That tells you that the program is
in the right
getting
direction.
Better and tonight, if we don't have a holding penalty on 3rd and 11, they've got to kick a field goal and we get the ball back with a chance to win the game, with all things considered. So, on the road, when you're in the fourth quarter with the team that we have this year, competing to win games, like, I'm a little different in my perspective. Like, I see the long-term vision here and I see the progress. I'm not going to be frustrated about the little things. I am frustrated because tackling is just like heart. But
Bingo.
At the same time, I'm seeing that we're a much better team than we were a year ago. We got playmakers on offense, at least. So if they can recruit on defense, I see a lot of the same going for that as well, guys.
All right. Thank you for the call. Appreciate it. Bear down. And that's going to be a big part of the offseason for Arizona. There was nothing left much in the cabinet. That's why you have 51 new players. Offensively, they went out and got some beasts, right?
Yeah.
You go get T-Mac. You go get Jonah Coleman. You have some guys that have contributed right away. These youngsters. The emphasis this recruiting class has to be on the defensive side of the ball. Let me go to Robert next on line 3. Robert, bear down. You're on Wildcats Radio 1290. How are you?
Disappointed. I know we're making some progress offensively, but questionable play calling. We got the ball back. We're down 10 with 5 minutes to go, and we just start running the ball.
Yeah.
The first 3 or 4 plays. I don't understand Fisher's play calling, but I don't know this. Whatever I don't know what's the defensive coordinator's name.
Johnny Nance.
Johnny Nance.
It's not that they don't. You can't coach toughness. And Christian, what's his name, Young? Who I saw him like 3 or 4 times with the runners coming towards him, backing up. Where's he backing up to? Why isn't he running up to hit the guy? You can't coach toughness. And there was so many plays when Washington, they went up tempo a lot. Our players didn't even look like they know where they were supposed to be. And to me, a lot of that, they've been practice. They had spring practice. They had practice since August or July. These guys have made absolutely no progress on defense. They're regressing, and this defense is worse than last year's defense statistically. I don't know if this guy's the right answer, defensive coordinator, and Fish needs to make a decision quick on this guy because this guy's not going to improve as a coach. You see it in the players. There's no technique. It's like they're all lost on defense, and Stokes, number 20, I don't think that guy could cover me. I'm going to be 62 years old, and I don't think that guy
I heard you got good
me
wheels, though.
He's lost.
All right, Robert, thanks for the call. Appreciate it, guys.
First I would say with the defensive coordinator, I think it's, I won't say a little unfair because, hey, it's the game.
Yeah.
You get paid big money.
Yeah.
But he haven't had a chance to work with these guys. You still trying to. I mean, you got to take what you have and make the most of it. I mean, he came in late. He didn't have a chance to recruit any of these guys, right? Like, to point to one guy on this team, Hunter Echols, maybe?
Yeah.
Hunter Echols?
That's about the only one.
That's about the only
he
guy.
He worked with him at USC before he was at UCLA. Because Coach Nansen was at USC, then he was at UCLA for 2 years. He had a relationship with Hunter, but that was 3 years ago.
Right. And we all know with the timing of that's not even probably quite what you wanted to do, but it's kind of what you had to do. And I think it helped with the recruiting because with the Polynesians and everything like that. But I just feel like, I mean, have he had a chance really to show what he has?
Not really.
Does he have enough guys? That's my big thing.
That's the thing. He needs the personnel. He needs the personnel. Either he needs the personnel or he needs to change his scheme to the personnel that we have. That's the thing.
And right now, I mean,
it's
you have to
hard
admit,
to do.
because what is your personnel? This has been 3 different defensive coordinators. Yeah. So what is your plan? So I think when I look at the defense, I don't quite know because again they're from all over the place.
Yeah. we don't have. I don't think he has all his guys that he wants in different spots. I think we have to have some guys in those down guys got to be pluggers, man. They got to be gap eaters, and we just don't have those guys.
And your linebackers got to be tacklers.
Yeah, tacklers.
Coach Tommy used to get those wrestlers. Right. Coach Tommy was famous for getting those wrestlers.
And those outside guys got to get to the quarterback. And with his call on I didn't understand the running. It was 4 minutes and we started running the ball. That burned probably about 2 minutes, I think. On the clock.
We're talking about Jed.
He's talking about that play call, and I think we must have burned at least 2 minutes off that clock doing those runs.
Right, late in the ball game as you're trying to get down there.
And I think what happened there is that they were playing the pass because, of course, we was passing it all over the place. And so, we did do the runs, but and he did, get a little movement there, but just the timing. At this point, you're like, hey, we haven't been
running. We're in the track meet now.
We got to go.
We haven't given up 500 yards. Yeah. We got to go. Yeah. By the way, I guess I'll mention this as well because we talked about Hunter Echols and Johnny Nansen. DJ Warnell came from UCLA. Right? Another guy that came over with him as well. So between him and Kafusi, they are outstanding recruiters.
Yeah, little Texas guy. Huh?
Yeah, Texas. Yeah. Listen, I already got on my Cali out this morning, so I'm giving all the love to Texas that I can. DJ Warnell from Dickerson High School.
Yeah, Lamarck, Texas.
Texas.
He's right from where Yusuf Scott, rest in peace. Yusuf Scott is from that same place.
There you go. All right, we'll continue with you. We'll get to the highlights, get to more of your telephone calls. 520-848-1290. Rich Rivera, Kelvin Efon, Glenn Howell. This is Wildcats Radio 1290.
This hour of the Meridian Wealth Management postgame show is brought to you in part by Royal Cadillac Buick GMC, Goodfellas AC, The Window Depot, Lexus of Tucson, Desert Diamond Casinos, Mesquite Valley Grove. This is the Rich Herrera Radio Show, now streaming on Facebook Live and YouTube at Wildcats 1290 and our website, wildcatsradio1290.com.
Terry crosses middle, handed to Matherin between the rings, over for Creasa. Checked by Campbell. High screen from Koloko. Creasa around it. Drives right. Throw it for Koloko, who slams it down for 2. Lamb set. And the pitch to Susak, driven out towards right field. That is going to get down for a base hit and go all the way to the wall. Casagrande headed for third. They're going to wave him around. He's coming home, and the Wildcats have tied it up. Susak with an RBI double to right center. And we're still playing ball. Tied at 16 in the bottom of the 10th. Shot blocked by Koloko, who grabs it out of the air. Ahead to Dalen Terry, Arizona with the ball, minute 30 to go, and a 6-point lead. Juzang working right, drives to the bucket, put up, blocked by Koloko, grabbed by Larson. Arizona ball, 38 seconds left. For Bernard, goes right, blocked by Ballo, grabbed by Matherin. Arizona ball, 22 seconds left. Campbell down for the Bruins, throw it out to Riley. He'll shoot the three, blocked again by Koloko. Ballo grabs it, it's over. Championship to Tucson.
Hey, sports fans, it's Rich Herrera. Thank you so much for tuning into our stream. We'll be back in just a bit. Until then, how about some Arizona Wildcat highlights?
4th down and less than a yard. Trojans will go for it in a tie game. Slovis out of the shotgun. Step to his left. Step the handoff. It is good. Backfield and drop. No gain. Loss on the play. Cats take over.
That's a huge play by Arizona. Explosive play in the backfield that time.
Shot blocked by Koloko, who grabs it out of the air. Ahead to Dalen Terry, Arizona with the ball, minute 30 to go, and a 6-point lead. Juzang working right, drives to the bucket, put up, blocked by Koloko, grabbed by Larson. Arizona ball, 38 seconds left. For Bernard, goes right, blocked by Ballo, grabbed by Matherin. Arizona ball, 22 seconds left. Campbell down for the Bruins, throw it out to Riley. He'll shoot the three, blocked again by Koloko. Ballo grabs it, it's over. Championship to Tucson. Dalen Terry quickly the other way, out to Tabellas, down the lane to throw it down with the left hand. Look out. The locomotive slams it home.
Hey, sports fans, it's Rich Herrera. Show will be back in just a little bit. Thanks for tuning into our stream. Until then, how about some great moments for the University of Arizona Wildcats?
4th down and 2, Arizona. Down 14-0. Wildcats on 4th down this year are 12 of 20. Offset backfield. Plummer to throw the ball, looking, throwing towards the back of the end zone, and it's caught! Touchdown, Arizona! Oh, did they need that? My goodness, Booby Curry had to leap in the air to take the ball over the top of the defender, and the Cats are on the field. ASU with the ball, down by 11, 3 have to go, steal by Koloko. He's going to drive the other way and slam it home, and foul by Lawrence.
Why Lawrence contested the big man, Christian Koloko, with defensive steal and flush.
Lawrence picks up his 3rd foul. Big guys love to play point guard. Koloko looked like one driving down that was from midcourt. 3-point lead again for TCU. Down to 30 seconds left. Matherin with the ball for the Wildcats. Matherin around a Koloko screen, picked up by Lampkin. Go outside for Koloko, feed it to Terry, right corner. Terry can't go baseline, circles back out top to Matherin. 10 to shoot, 16 left in the ballgame. Matherin, 3 balls straight away, good!
That's a huge shot for Ben Matherin in Arizona. Timeout TCU. This ball game is knotted up.
12.6 seconds to go. Ben Matherin drains a deep 3 from straight away. He's got 24 points, and we're all even.
Hey, sports fans, this is Rich Herrera. Thanks so much for tuning into our stream. Back in just a bit. Until then, how about some highlights from the University of Arizona?
McLeod's going to line up under center. Wiley, the running back. Receiver either side. 2 tight ends. Oregon, 5-man front. They shift. Play fake, rolling right. McLeod looking to throw. Going deep. Down, trying to find Berryhill. Makes the catch inside the 25-yard line. Still loose inside the 15. First down, Arizona.
What a play by McLeod. He was smacked, but he had the presence of mind to know where Berryhill was. He threw the ball. He underthrew the ball, and Berryhill was looking back at it and made a great play on the ball. An amazing play by Jordan McLeod.
It's Radio 1290. Rich Herrera, Kelvin Eve on Glenn Howell. Guys, I'm not going to lie. It's been a long day.
Yeah, man. Yeah,
it has been a long day.
Yeah.
But let's just get to it. We got to get to the keys to the game. tonight. And Rich Mauricio, we'll get to your telephone call here in just a second. Keys to the game are brought to you by Royal Automotive.
Were the Cats able to unlock the keys to the game? Let's look at our pregame keys to the game. They are brought to you by the Royal Automotive Group. Royal Automotive, the dealership that is different.
All right, keys to the game. Who wants to go first?
I'll go first.
All right, what do you got, Captain?
My first one was, penalties. When you're on the road in big games like that, you have to worry about penalties. I think that one big one that cost us right there at the end,
Pass interference?
Yeah.
That wasn't even pass interference either.
Yeah. No, it wasn't. It was close, though, man. He didn't even have to put his hand on him. I felt like that the ball was overthrown. Yeah. You got to watch doing
that. And that's what they called the holding early, and not the pass interference. Pass interference, I think you wave it off. The hold that they said, it was so close.
Yeah. So close there. My other one was, again, I thought that the defense needed to tackle better, get that pressure. Didn't quite happen today. The effort was there, but just couldn't get it done. And then offensively, I thought running the ball could keep Penix off the field and to keep him away from, throwing for 500 yards and 4 touchdowns. But, we didn't quite run it that much. We ran for more yards than them, but we didn't use the run to keep them at bay.
Right. The time of possession, the difference in that was
3 minutes.
3 minutes.
Yeah.
So, all right, Glenn, what do you got?
But they scored fast. That's the thing.
They did.
They did.
Well, because he was standing back there unaccosted.
Yeah, and one of my things was the keys to the game is get Penix off his spot. Penix back there, he had a bib on, and he was eating all day long, man. He was
at Farrell's.
Yeah,
he was at Farrell's.
Yeah,
where they had the big trough that took you 10. Where we grew up, Kelvin, if you were good, Dad had a little extra money at the end.
68 scoops, is it?
Yeah, 68 scoops of ice cream inside a pig trough. It took you all day to eat it.
Oh, it was unbelievable. For your birthday.
For your birthday.
Wow.
Yeah.
That sounds...
He was sitting there and just sitting there. We had to get him off his spot. We didn't do that. I thought also that we needed to run the ball. That was important for us. That was win on first down.
There were some good runs in the ball game.
Yeah,
Jonah Coleman can run people over.
Yeah.
Jaden DJ Williams can run people over. Yeah. And that one play in the end zone where the defensive back wanted nothing to do with Jonah.
And you know what? I don't understand. He still runs that pitch play. Why doesn't he put Drake in there? Why doesn't he Drake Anderson? Yeah. And he
Drake. I mean, at this point, we gotta believe that
he's not playing.
Right? I mean,
he's not.
You gotta read the writing on the wall at some point.
I mean, it's just amazing. I mean, that we didn't do that. We didn't run the ball, and then also, defense had to make some stops, man, and we just couldn't do it.
All right, real quick, my key to the game was going to be Jaden Delores' play, and I've been wanting to get to this in a little bit. Like I said, calls will get right to you, but Jaden Delores, I thought, had a heck of a game. This is a big maturation moment for him because Washington was coming after him. They were trying to get to him. They were not happy with him. He knew what everybody was saying during this week. No interceptions, didn't force the ball, took what they could give him, played under control, and that's why Arizona was in this football game.
Yeah, he did. Yeah. I think he torched him. I think he did, 400-something yards, 4 touchdowns, no interceptions. That's what I think is key. That's a step forward for that guy.
And Kelvin, because we see it, and he was running for his life. And that's normally when he tries to have that hero pass, throws it a little bit too much. You didn't get that today. He played under control.
Yeah, he kept his head up the field. If somebody came open, he made the pass. If they didn't, he took off and ran the ball very effectively, got the first downs, kept the chains moving. He was totally locked into this game. He know he could beat this team from the Washington State team that he played with before, and that's the way that he looked today.
Yeah, absolutely. Those are the keys to the game. Keys to the game brought to you by Royal Automotive.
Our keys to the game are brought to you by the Royal Automotive Group. Royal Automotive, the dealership that is different.
All right, let me grab one call real quick before we get to the highlights. Rich, my buddy from Chicago, welcome. Bear down, man. You're on, I almost said CBS Sports Radio. you hear that little pause, right?
Yeah.
When I talk to Rich, it's usually on the network. Rich, welcome here on our postgame show.
Yeah, hey, I want to talk to both of you guys. You're right. When it's at nighttime here in Chicago, I'm thinking the same thing. I'm thinking, am I calling CBS or am I calling Tucson?
Glad you're calling Tucson. Sure. By the way, I'm working next Friday, so you can call me then.
All right, yeah, we'll get on to some other issues like why the Florida Gators left the defense at home. I'll get into that. in a second. But you know what I thought? I dropped you a note on this. I knew the Mariners were playing at home, and I thought it would suck the crowd down and give you a little bit of an edge, right? At home, first home playoff in 20 years, right? I looked up the attendance. I was shocked. They got 63,000 out of a 70,000 seat stadium.
Yeah.
So that didn't hold the crowd down. I think the Mariners are still playing. Yeah. They lost 1-0 in 18 innings.
Jeez. Yeah. Glad I wasn't doing that post-game show, I'll tell you that.
18 innings. Yeah. All I had to do, because I was watching the Florida LSU game, and we couldn't get your game, obviously, because we don't have the Pac-12 network.
Not many people do.
No, well, anyway, I saw the stat sheet because I was careful. I think it showed some progress. A 10-point loss to an offense like they have isn't so bad, and you made a nice comeback. You could have got blown out, didn't happen, came back. But big offense. But it looks to me like the Pac-12 of 10 years ago where nobody plays any defense. I saw where Washington only had to punt once.
Yeah, that's bad.
Right.
We had plenty of opportunities to stop, with some good tackling.
They did turn him over on downs twice.
Turn him over on downs twice. But that's because Kalen DeBoer likes going for it on fourth down.
They was going for it.
That was showing us no respect. I think that was just like, we can get this.
Right.
And stop them both times.
And they ran the ball, and they tried to run the ball against us.
Right. Rich, go ahead and finish.
Yeah, I was going to say, we've already talked about Penix, the Tampa guy. Since I'm a Gator, I knew he's a Tampa high school kid. Hey, look, he looks like he's up for the Heisman, and the kid was the 6th-ranked quarterback in the state of Florida in high school. Wasn't recruited by any Florida school.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking, he can't be that good. I'm sure if you give anybody enough time, they're going to throw, and they throw it all over the lot. But come on, he broke the school record today, 516 yards passing. I thought I read the stat sheet wrong.
No, he ended up getting it. Hey, Rich, I'm up against the clock. I got to let you go. I'll talk to you this week. Thanks, buddy.
See ya.
All right, take care. But that proves the point, guys. We talked about it. One of the keys to the game was going to be, can you get him off his spot? Arizona wasn't able to put any pressure. Arizona did have, tackle for losses, 6 of them.
Yeah,
there are a couple. Manu had a couple of real nice plays, but if you could stand back there all day long, good things are going to happen for you.
He had a butler serving him food, man. I'm telling you,
all the way through.
Bad.
All right. We're going to take a quick time out. We'll come back. I'm going to get to the highlights of the ball game, and I'll grab Mauricio and everybody else's telephone calls as well. Washington wins 49-39 over the University of Arizona. We'll continue with you. This is Wildcats Radio 1290.
This is the Rich Herrera Radio Show. Now streaming on Facebook Live and YouTube at Wildcats 1290 and our website, wildcatsradio1290.com.
Terry crosses middle, handed to Mathurin between the rings. Over for Creasa. Checked by Campbell. High screen from Koloko. Creasa around it, drives right. Throw it for Koloko, who slams it down for 2. Lamb set. And the pitch to Susak, driven out towards right field. That is going to get down for a base hit and go all the way to the wall. Casagrande headed for third. They're going to wave him around.